Okay. Welcome to the Self-Identity Blueprint, guys. Let me just share my screen very quickly, and we're going to be getting started, okay? All right, so here's the thing, you all. Let me just say hello and welcome to the Self-Identity Blueprint once again. This is something that I like to do for all of our viewers and members, those who are with us in this particular Facebook community. But most importantly, I like to do this for all of you all who have come to a place and understand that in order for us to achieve the levels of success that we want to have, in order for us to get to that next place called there, we've got to change some things, not only mindset, but also our identity. And so I want you to understand that identity plays a very important role. Identity and self-image, you know, your however you view yourself is going to be important for where you want to go. And so I want to welcome you once again to this, and we're going to have strategies for creating a life of freedom. But before we get started, I want you to do me a favor and block out about a good 30 to 40 minutes of your time. I'm not going to be long, but I do want you to block out some time, get something to take some notes with. This video will be up for 1 week, and it'll be down on next Monday because we will be starting some programs and courses that we'll be sharing with you all on tomorrow. So it's free, guys. Do yourself a favor and let's really get into it, okay? So now, your success in any undertaking will never be greater than the image you have of yourself. Now, you all, this took a long time for me to sear this in my mind because one of my mentors told me, Mike, he said, Mike, you could be further along than you are, but for some reason, you just don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you can do what you see other people doing. And he was absolutely right. And that was a gut punch to me because, you know, being in this space of personal growth and development, being in corporate America, you know, you kind of think that you are at a certain level. And this is one of the revelations that I received, that sometimes you don't know until someone who knows tells you so. So I took that to heart, and I got to work on my self-image. And this is what ended up happening, you all. I want you to look at this screen and ask yourself, do you want a world-class life? At the time when I was engaging this information in the beginning, you all, in terms of building a wealth portfolio, I wanted to do real estate. I wanted to do trading. I wanted to do investing. I wanted to do shares and options and Forex. And then I had to just settle down and really focus on this one thing, and that was my desires. See, if you want to live a world-class life, you all, you have to understand that your desire plays a major role. And now watch this. Your desire, what you want to do, your desire is predicated upon your image. So if my world-class life is an image of this, my wife and I, we like to travel. And we learned that through travel, we were building a life, a rich and wealthy life, because we didn't want to travel just to any old hotel or any old place. We wanted to go to resorts, you know, first it started off as just a resort, and then we got invited to an all-inclusive resort. And then we realized that, hey, this is that lifestyle, being able to go when you want to go, do when you want to do it, for as long as you want to, with whoever you want to. This is a lifestyle that we desired. And so I want you to take a minute while looking at this screen and just picture the lifestyle that you want to have. What lifestyle, what does world-class mean to you? You see, some people have an ability to say, you know what, I'd like to take a road trip, and that's okay. But what type of car are you driving while you take that road trip? You see, world-class, you all, is a step up. It is the elite level. It is the essential thing to a company, organization, your family unit, or whatever. And you want to become that, all right? So first we start with desire. Napoleon Hill once said that the starting point of all achievement is desire. Now I want you to take a moment and look at that, because all the people who are in this group, many of you all came over from YouTube, many of you all were in a particular company, and the company right now has stalled out or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I want you to understand something, and that is simply this, that your starting point to achieve anything has to be desire. So if you desire to keep on going and pressing past a setback, truth be told, I don't look at setback or failures as losses anymore. I look at them as potential setups for something new to learn. So another way to look at it and approach the situation, because I've learned that through failure is much success, because it means that you try. And if you continue to try and try again, you may fail sometime, but fail forward. You may get set back sometime, but use it as a springboard to set you up, to propel you going forward in life. So when you talk about achievement, what is your greatest achievement and what do you want to get and how you want to do it? Your greatest achievement, if you haven't achieved it, then how will you do it? And I'm telling you now that I've learned that desire plays a major role in this piece. And because of that, we get to a place to where we have to understand that even the good book says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So whether you believe in the Bible or whether you believe in some other higher power, whatever it may be, you have to understand that it is the will of that higher power to give you desires. And of course, I didn't come here to preach to you all, you know my background, but the reality is something greater than you wants to give you something. I hope you all are hearing what I'm trying to share with you this morning. Something greater than you has a will for you that wants to give you something that's in your heart and wants to make your life better than what it is. So you have to ask yourself, where am I? Am I getting the results that I want to get? Am I in my life? Am I where I planned to be years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? And if not, it could be that your desire has faded. Now, let's look at this right here. Desire, according to some, is a strong feeling that you want something. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you today that it is okay to have a strong feeling, to want something, to desire something. That strong feeling, and I'm going to show you just in just a moment, how when you get emotionally involved with an idea or a dream, it helps to fast forward the process, okay? So let's look at this. The desire you all has to become a burning desire, and that's what gets the desire off the ground. So I want you to take a look at a statement I'm going to read. This is one of the greatest books that my mentor had us read. You all know that's Bob Proctor, one of the mentors that I was blessed to have, went through several of his programs. But I want you to understand something, you all, that every person who wins in an undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut off all sources of retreat, okay? Only by so doing can you be sure of maintaining that state of mind known as a burning desire to win, essential to success. I want you all to hear this one more time. The state of mind known as burning desire to win means we have to have A-type goals, big type goals, stretching type goals, and we have to be willing to burn the ships that got us to that particular side. In other words, you all, sometimes in life, you got to have a desire that's so strong, that's so on fire, that you're willing to have no plan Bs. I only have one plan A, and that is to be rich, wealthy, and healthy. And I'm going to do that by any means necessary, of course, without hurting or harming or causing trouble and pain to any other human being. But that means you got to get on fire. You got to have a burning desire that is such that puts you in an understanding of the purpose of where you are. Now, I want to read another sentence in this same chapter, and it says, and I quote, "Every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. But wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches," ladies and gentlemen, a burning desire for riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession. Now, and then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, which bring you riches. Now, I want you to understand something. Everyone on here probably is in this group because you have a desire to achieve more, and there's nothing wrong with that. The way that you're doing it, there might be something wrong with that. Because if you don't have the mindset for investing, I'm getting messages and emails from a lot of people who are in dire straits because they connected with the wrong person, invited them to a platform, and then left them hanging. Didn't teach them about the mindset of an investor, didn't teach them how to diversify, just saw them as a bonus or a meal ticket and just left them. And my heart goes out to you. But I'm telling you now that there's a way to change the situation going forward. We may not be able to do anything about the past situation, but we can definitely use it as a learning opportunity and begin to do things differently in a different way. So when you desire riches and have this state of mind, and it becomes an obsession. You don't stop or throw in the towel when the going gets tough, ladies and gentlemen. That's what a burning desire will do for you. A burning desire will allow you to make definite plans and connect with mentors who can mentor you in the right direction. Burning desire is very important, very key, because that obsession turns into a way to plan, and you have to have definite plans in doing so. And a definite plan, for the way I teach it, it has to do with diversification and understanding that you never put all your eggs in one basket, okay? So here's the thing. Once you have a burning desire, ladies and gentlemen, you have a flame and you have an obsession, and you understand that you're called to be wealthy, you understand that your higher power wants you to be blessed, wants you to have, and it's the higher power's will, it's God's will for you to express yourself. Once you do that, we got to make a decision. But we can't just make any kind of decision. It has to be a committed decision, and a decision that will cause for you to stay persistent, stay consistent with the plans that we put in motion. Now, I want you to just take a moment and think about that. How many times in life have you started something and then quit because of something that someone else said or thought? See, when you get the right mentor who understands your vision and your purpose and your passion, they will help you make committed decisions and hold you accountable until the job is done, until a goal is achieved. And that's what that level of commitment is, ladies and gentlemen, which means I'm committed and I'm not going back no matter what happens. I'm going to reach this level. I'm going to reach the pinnacle no matter what. And I'm telling you right now, this is a strategy for freedom. If I don't say anything else, you understanding those two things, and I need a mentor who can help me stay committed to my decisions. Those two things right there, a mentor and a committed decisions, will change your life, and you will experience freedom beyond measure. I've done it. I remember one of my mentors said to me, Favors, you seem like you're on the fence. And if you would just make a committed decision, an irrevocable committed decision, challenge yourself that you won't change in the middle of the scenario, no matter what happens, you'll find that you'll develop another skill for the completion of it. And I'm gonna tell you all, one of the first companies that I launched after that conversation, we launched that company, and within the first 30 some days, we cleared high 5 figures, almost 6 figures, in that company within the first 30 to 45 days. The only reason I say that is because I forget the exact dates, and sometimes we don't count the week is, so business days. But I'm gonna tell you all, it was amazing how one word of empowerment, encouragement from a mentor who understands your state of mind and your purpose and passion, one word from that right person can propel you and push you and motivate you into your destiny. And I'm telling you all, for those of you all who've never had a mentor like that, who've never experienced a coach, I can do that. I help hundreds of people, thousands even, to be honest, and I'm just trying to be humble. But I've helped hundreds of people, thousands of people, understand their true potential and develop an identity that says, I am a winner, not a loser. I win. I don't take any losses. I'm a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. What I set out to do, I achieve. What I set my mind to, I accomplish. I've helped so many people. And if you've never experienced that, then I want to talk to you and help you as well. But we'll talk about that a little later. So here's the thing, you all. When you talk about freedom and wanting to increase your self-identity and your self-image so that you can live a life beyond measure, live a life of freedom, you have to be truthful with yourself and come to a place that what does freedom mean to you? To some people, freedom is release from bondage. In this particular picture right here, incarceration. But the reality of it is, many of us are in bondage to something in our life that we don't want to do, that we know we shouldn't be doing. But because we have no mentor, we don't understand where we are, we don't understand how to get out of it, we stay in that bondage, we stay in captivity. It could be in captivity to a job, to relationships, to being trapped in of building a life that you don't want, but you're so locked in that now you have to go to work to pay these bills because you done put yourself in so much debt. What does freedom mean to you? To some people, it means peace, which simply means you're tired of arguing and bickering with people. You're tired of being on emotional roller coasters, and you just would like some peace, some rest, just some tranquility. And rightfully so, because once again, even the Bible said that we ought to take a Sabbath rest and a day to rest. And then to other people, freedom is having love, meaning that you give love, but you don't have anyone to love you back. Imagine what you could do if you had 4 or 5 people in your corner who loves you, that would back your decision, that would back your business idea, that would back the next investment that you're doing. Heard a man once say years ago in Detroit, growing up, said that if you could find you 3 good pals, you could change the world. 3 good buddies and you make 4. Imagine what you could do. So we want to talk about this thing of freedom, you all, because if you're bound and your mind is unclear, there is no way you're going to achieve the levels of success that you want to achieve. So with that being said, if you really want to think about and be free, I want to put this up on the screen again so that you can see this screen or this shot, a world-class life. I want you to once again consider and think about that. What is a world-class life? But this time I want you to think about it amidst of all the slides of what I just told you about desire, about love, about being released from bondage. All the things I just showed you about desire, about it has to be a burning desire. You have to fall in love and then have an emotional connection to it. What type of life would you like to live now? You just get that picture in your mind and then understand that in order to achieve that, you've got to have discipline. Now we're about to go somewhere, so I want you all to dig in, lean in, and take some good notes because I'm getting ready to share something with you. Napoleon Hill once said that self-discipline, ladies and gentlemen, starts with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Earl Nightingale said it this way, the problem with man today is they simply won't think. And because of this, you all, we have to develop a certain level of mastery. Now, in order to master your thoughts, you got to understand what we talk about in terms of paradigm. Now, some of you all have seen this before. You've heard it other places. You're going to continue to see it, and I'm going to continue to share it in everything I do. Number one, I was taught to do so because it is the easiest way to shift and transform and help you get quantum leaps in whatever you're doing. I don't care if it's business, ministry, investing, whatever it is. You want quantum leaps, you want to understand what I'm getting ready to share with you now. So here it is. You as an infant, please take note to the lettering where it says paradigm. That would be the subconscious. I'm going to get there. And then please note the circle at the bottom, which would be your body. Now, when you're a child, you are born with an open globe. That means you can only receive everything to your paradigm, to your subconscious mind, because this is where you get your belief systems from. As a child, you can't pick and choose. So even though I am a Black man, I could be born in Brazil and I would speak probably the indigenous language there. If I was born in Asia, I would probably speak that indigenous language. Because I'm born here and my parents taught me, I speak English with a little bit of Espanol, okay? But think about that. No matter where you are, the tics, the way I eat, my eating habits, your eating habits, everything you do is based upon your environment when you are a child. That's called your DNA. So everything that you were exposed to, radio, other people, news, TV, papers, nowadays it's TikTok and social medias and YouTube and Facebook and things like this. This all helps create your system of beliefs. And ladies and gentlemen, your system of beliefs controls your actions. Now, take a look at this. I want you to really take a look at this, screenshot, do whatever. Once you get to a certain age, that globe closes and you have the 5 senses, which is see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. We see that. And we see that those 5 senses are what sends information to your conscious mind. Now, these 5 senses, you all, is non-physical, so it's the cause of it. This is your conscious mind. That is the top part of the globe. So imagine now that your head, the top part is your conscious mind, and the bottom part is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, you all, is the place where feelings and the emotional mind germinate. So in other words, now imagine you receiving information from what you're seeing, what you're hearing, your sense of smell, your sense of touch and taste. That information is gathered, right? And it is then put into your conscious mind. The interesting thing about the conscious mind is that is the place where you can reason, where you can imagine, where you can operate in the 6 higher faculties. The conscious mind, you all, is the place where you differentiate and disseminate information. What do I mean by that? It's the place where you pick and choose what you're going to push down to your subconscious mind. Now, that is very important, you all, when it comes to decision making, because your subconscious mind does not have the ability to pick and choose. I'm going to say that again, you all. Your subconscious mind, that thing that controls your emotions and behavior, it does not have the ability to pick and choose. And tomorrow I'm gonna tell you about imagination and share some things with you out of another book. But for right now, the conscious mind. So this means you can choose whether to receive or reject something. Once it comes into your conscious mind and you choose to receive it, it automatically gets impressed down to your paradigm, your subconscious mind, which is your what? Control mechanism. Your subconscious mind is then what controls your body, and that's how you get your effects in the physical realm. For those of you who study law of vibration, law of attraction, that's where that takes place. So when you talk about changing your paradigm, you're basically changing your program and you're reprogramming so that you can then eventually put success on autopilot. That was a lot, but just stay with me, y'all. The video is going to be up. Go back and do some research. I'm trying my best to stay right in that 30-minute mark for you because I know you all are busy and many of you all are watching during your lunch break. So here's the thing. Remember the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the body. Let the top part of this diagram be the conscious mind once again. Let the bottom part be the subconscious mind, and also let the portion at the bottom, the small circle, be the body next to action, and action equals R. Now, on the left side of this mind, you have a negative sign. On the right side, you have a positive sign. I remember growing up watching Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny and them used to have images where a red Bugs Bunny would show up, would represent the devil, and a white one would show up, would represent the angel. And each one of them would talk to him, try to get him to do something. So anyway, the negative mind, you all, this is what happens when you entertain negative thoughts. You entertain some negative idea, it comes into your conscious mind, you start meditating, you start thinking about it, you start worrying about it. Then next thing you know, it gets pushed down to your body or to your subconscious mind, you receive that, then your body starts to react. What happens? You start to worry, you start to get anxious, your heart starts to palpitate. Next thing you know, your body goes into a state of shiver, of disease, or a shiver, which is dis-ease. And then you open your body up for sicknesses, chronic illnesses, and things of that nature. And we don't understand, but scientists say all the time that our mind has ability to heal our bodies. So if you're entertaining negative thoughts, rumors of war, fear and doubt and uncertainty day after day, then I wonder why you will then realize that that is what you're going to attract to. Now, on the flip side of that, if you entertain something positive and you surround yourself with A-class people, essential leaders, you all surround yourself with people who are going somewhere, with people who are doing something, who's speaking positive. And for those of you who follow me, you know, those of you watching on YouTube, I'm Mr. Positive, man. Stay positive on purpose. When you do that, you then begin to press down creative thoughts, right? Pleasant visions, you know, people who I hang around with, wealthy people you are, we're not talking about what we lost. We're talking about how to create more business, what business should we buy in this season? What's happening with the bottom line in this sector? Should we be investing in this or should we wait just a little longer? We talk about how to advance. We talk about strategies, you all, places to go and things to do that continue to feed that positivity side of our brains. And when that happens and it gets pressed down, guess what? It puts you in a positive vibration. So now understand, when you walk up and people see you confident, you got your swag and you walking and you feeling good, you looking good, you are putting out such a positive energy. If the law of attraction be true, which I believe in it, and it is, then you get out of life what you put in. You get out of God's universe what you put into it. So if you're putting out positive vibes and positive energy, then you're going to get that. That then gets pushed down to your paradigm. Then you begin to say, I can't. And you begin to say, no, you begin to say, I can versus I can't. I can be a C-suite business executive. I can own my own business and my own company. I can find another investment that'll be just as better or just as good than the previous one I just got in. I can be a real estate mogul. I can broker silver and gold. I can own an oil well. See, I'm trying to tell you all something, man. It all depends on how you deal with your paradigm. Because watch, once you push it down to your body, then that is where you begin to go into action, because The paradigm is the mechanism that controls your actions or your bodies. It's just like this. If someone, or if a gnat came up to, or a bee came up to sting you, you're automatically going to wave your hand, because that mechanism kicks in, your paradigm kicks in without even having to think about it. It's subconscious, right? So watch this. You choose your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. And this is all about discipline of changing your paradigm. So you choose your thoughts into that conscious mind, your intellectual mind. Then your thoughts that you press down cause feelings in the emotional mind. This is why you have to get emotionally involved with whatever your dreams, desires, and passions are. But you have to it is important to realize that you have to get involved emotionally with a positive emotion and not a negative emotion. So what happens when you change your paradigm by reprogramming your mind, you change your ultimate results. Here's how. Once you choose your thoughts, you receive it or reject it, it gets pressed down into the subconscious mind. Then it goes down into your body, and that causes your body to then act. The actions now does three things. Number one, it changes your conditions. Number two, it changes your circumstances. And number three, it changes your results. Now, your actions cause a reaction. So if your conditions are changed, your circumstances are changed, your environment is changed, and you're getting the maximum results, quantum leap results, massive results, then the reaction to that is to send those positive is to send the positive feedback, you all, back up to your conscious mind. And then, hello, there's a piece in the book that talks about auto-suggestion. That is how you put your wealth creation and wealth building on auto-suggestion, you all. You remember those good things from the conditions, the good things from the circumstances, the good things from the environment, and you remember the good results. You vibrate on those good results, which means you meditate on those good results, and then the reaction is sending them back so the whole thing happens again. So even if a setback did occur, you have so much positive reinforcement that you don't dwell on the negative. That's the key. I'm trying to tell you, you don't dwell on it. You don't meditate on it. You don't even think about it. Picture this. The person who is always worried about bills, who is always worried about debt, who is always worried and anxious about not having enough money, 9 times out of 10, they never have enough money. Why? Because they're focusing on the negative and not happy. Instead, you focus on the building and the wealth creation and focus on getting in conditions and circumstances and environments that can give you the results and the necessary reactions that you need. You all, I teach this. I apply it to my life. I'll share this. I never forget when my wife and I first got married. This was 16 years ago, you all. We were living in Nashville, and I was just coming through a serious setback in my life, okay? Getting ready to get myself back together. And at that point in time, you all, we were barely, our monthly expenses was like $2,700. And we were struggling to make those ends meet. Remember now, this is before we got married. So I had my youngest son, I was single, she was single, and that's what it was. But when we came together and put everything together, that's what the income was. And it was at that moment I said, you know what? No. This can't happen. Now, because prior to that, I had a business that was making almost $4,000 or $5,000 a month. But because of my personal life and bad choices, income to debt ratio was all jacked up, all messed up. I couldn't see where none of that money was going. So after that, me and my wife got back together. I reestablished some things, reopened the cleaning business, you all. And next thing you know, the business skyrocketed. And we started doing about $6-7 grand a month after paying employees, y'all. And I never forget the feeling of what it felt like to go from $5K a month to $10K a month. And next thing you know, to 12 to 15. And the rest is history, guys. But see, each one of those mile markers taught me a lesson in terms of how you have to be consistent in doing things a certain way. So here's the thing, you all. James C. Collins said discipline is consistency in action. You see, we couldn't just hit wins every now and then. I had to be consistent with my way of life, and I had to be consistent with the continuation of learning and understanding how to fix my mind on exact things, and understanding how that my desire had to be high enough, and my discipline, hear me, y'all. Your discipline has to match your level of desire and then be consistent at the action. You can learn 1% of new information every day in your industry. Within 30 days, look back and realize how much you have just taken in. You do that for 90 days, I guarantee you, you can erase an old habit, create a new habit. You can literally go on a 90-day blitz and change the course of your life in 90 days. I'm telling you, we do 90-day blitzes all the time, okay? Now, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn told us that. And I'm telling you now, to have discipline, to achieve your goals, to go after your goals is pertinent and is very important to what you want to do. And if you really want to turn your life around and get to another place, discipline and desires is going to be what you need to do. But you have to master these skills, okay? And last but not least, I believe y'all, discipline is doing what needs to be done, even if you don't want to do it. Sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do in order to do what you want to do. And it's very, very important to what we're doing now in terms of creating a new identity and creating your self-image. Because to have a new identity and to create that self-image, you're gonna have to take these skill sets and master these skill sets. So that's the time I have today. I'm right at 3 minutes past the 30-minute mark, you all. But I do want to give you all a homework assignment, okay? And this is what that's going to look like. I want you all to take time and think about the lifestyle that you want to live. Think about where you want to be. And I want you to write a new statement, write a new identity statement that starts something like this. And I want you to write it in now time. So it starts like this. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am healthy, wealthy, and living the life that I always dreamt of, right? It's something like that. I'm so happy and grateful that I am healthy, wealthy, and living the life that I've always dreamed of. I want you to get that and write that, you all, 21 times on a piece of paper. I want you to write it 21 times in good legible penmanship, and I want you to post it in here and then tag me in the piece, okay? I am so happy and grateful now that I am living, that I'm healthy, wealthy, and living the life that I've always dreamed of. And if you do that, write that 21 times, and then say that statement 3 times a day, at least for the next 21 days, you'll start to see a change in your identity. You'll start to see your confidence come back. You'll start to see your swag come back. You will start to see yourself. And here's the reason why, and I'm done. Every time you repeat that statement, it's going to take you back and flash a picture on your mind of what you envisioned when you thought about it. So for me, in the vacation and the inclusive clubs and things of that nature, you know, we members of the yacht club and all that, that is what that does for me. It brings me back to that place. And every time I read my identity statement, that says who I am. So if you notice, even with this picture right here, I have it on my phone, you all. I have it on my phone as a screensaver, so that every time I open my phone, this is what I see. I see think, feel, act like the man, the finished product that I want to be, who has the ability to go to an all-inclusive retreat anywhere in the world, Paris, London, Africa, wherever, you know, New Zealand, wherever I want to go. That is my identity. That's my self-image. And I encourage you to get a self-image for yourself, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we will be back tomorrow at this same time at 11 a.m. And we'll also be covering some other things that are going to be important for you, like goal setting and achievement. We'll talk about the imagination, and then I'm going to share with you some of the programs that we have to offer that will change your life. So with that being said, thank you all once again for joining. This is Doc Favors. I'll see you next time.